Social media is buzzing about eating for longevity thanks to the new Netflix show about blue zones. So what are the diet secrets of communities that live to 100 years young? Well, let's bust out that vino, baby, because we're gonna find out. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be eating a blue zone approved diet and discussing how specific dietary patterns may help you live into the triple digits. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also check out my free hunger crushing combo ebook in the description below for some balanced meal inspiration. I can't promise that you'll make it to 100 with these recipes, but it's definitely an evidence-based chance. So super quickly here, blue zones is a term coined by Dan Buettner to capture the specific geographical areas in the world with the most centenarians, aka the greatest concentration of people who are living past 100. So the 5 blue zones include Okinawa in Japan, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece, Sardinia in Italy, and Loma Linda in California. And despite being situated literally all around the globe, there were 9 major similarities or pillars in these communities as it pertains to movement, outlook on life, diet, and connection. I'm gonna explain these with some examples as we go along, but let's hop into breakfast because your girl is hungry. So according to Dan's research, a really common thread amongst a lot of the blue zones is the frequent consumption of coffee, especially as a social experience with family and friends. Love this journey for us because, as you guys know, I need my coffee. And apparently in Icaria, Greece, they boil their coffee grounds instead of filtering them, which is said to just kind of like increase the beneficial antioxidants which are associated with a reduced risk of chronic disease. Interesting. As for breakfast, we are going to Nicoya, Costa Rica for something called gallo pinto. So basically we got some black beans, we got some rice, salsa, all cooked together. And then you can add in whatever veggies you've got. I've got some bell peppers and some frozen squash. And then sometimes it's served with eggs, which I'm gonna do to add a little bit of protein in there, but sounds super simple and delish. So in the show, Dan talks a lot about the importance of beans and legumes across blue zones, especially in Costa Rica, the Mediterranean, and in the vegetarian community of Loma Linda, California. And this totally makes sense, as one study found that people lived an extra 8 years for every ounce of legumes that they ate. It also makes sense because we've all learned from a very young age that beans are good for the heart. And I don't know, I will take a little bit of farting for good heart health. Plus a huge bonus in this economy when animal costs are literally through the roof. Okay, so this was insanely easy to make. Brody, you get one, I get one. Because in the blue zones, it's all about community, it's all about sharing. So grab that. Let's take a little taster. It is hot as hell. It's actually pretty good. Very easy to drink. I didn't even put anything in it. It's got like a nice smooth taste to it. I love that. Bib up because this is the wrong outfit for this meal. I made him extra sloppy for me.
I know how you kids like them sloppy.
That is so good. The rice. I wouldn't have thought to do the rice, but the rice I'm here for. It's good. You know, normally whenever I eat breakfast or lunch, I'm like sitting here scrolling through TikTok or reading comments or answering emails on my phone, etc. But today, we're living like the blue zone. And that means really making an effort to slow down, live presently in the moment, and making major efforts to reduce stress. And I don't know, reading vicious troll comments as I try to have a basic meal isn't exactly relaxing, nor is excessive social media use generally good for public health. So, bye-bye, logging off. It's gonna be a lonely meal, but I think I'm gonna enjoy it. Coffee first. Now, family is also a huge part of the blue zones. There's a lot of generational housing going on, and taking care of one's elders is really built into the culture. So like, they don't put granny in a nursing home when they can have her move in with the rest of the gang.
Get me out of here!
I'm not sure I'm ready for that, but I can give Grandma Sharp a call. I guess I gotta turn on my phone for this. Grandma! Where are you? Hi, Ma. Happy birthday. Yeah, you wanna come by like 1-ish? We got a hole in a stuffy we need to deal with. Major emergency. Yep. Okay, love you. Bye. It is officially soup season, and despite living in year-round gorgeous sunshine, the Sardinians apparently love their minestrone soup. And I love that because it is a built-in hunger-crushing combo with the beans that we discussed and lots of fiber and antioxidant-rich veg. And honestly, one of my favorite meditative activities is to make soup. So one of the tenets of the Blue Zones is to live with purpose, whether that's investing in faith, spirituality, advocacy work, or passion. And cooking has really always been a passion of mine, and it's one that I rarely get to exercise now that I have kids. So making slow food like soup, to me, can be a really meditative experience. Now, another thing that Dan points out is that folks in the Blue Zones are not low carb. They eat carbs, they love life, especially the Italians. They do, however, focus on higher fiber or fermented carbohydrates more often. So things like sweet potatoes in the Okinawa, whole grains in Loma Linda, and sourdough breads in Sardinia. And again, this makes sense. Oop. Yuck. Because the research suggests that folks who eat the most fiber reduce their risk of dying by 23% compared to those who eat the least. Now, I feel like a whole grain bread would be slightly higher in fiber to pair with a little soup action, but I am personally obsessed with sourdough, and it's uniquely beneficial because the fermentation increases the bioavailability of the nutrients. It also lowers the gluten and the bread's glycemic index while feeding the good bacteria, which is also associated with longevity. Okay, so I know you guys are cringing with how full I just packed that pot, but I pulled it off, guys, and I used up all the leftover veg in my fridge. So that is a very big win in my books. Another big win is how ridiculously delicious and nutritious this looks. Oh, it's so good. Oh, that flavor. Just like it's been cooking all day long. A little dunk. I'm not scared of carbs. I'm crying because it's good, but also because I definitely burnt the roof of my mouth. Worth it. All right, it is cool, but it's not raining outside, which is a huge bonus for fall here in Canada. So I feel like this calls for some joyful movement. And this is really central to the experience of communities in different Blue Zones. So movement is intuitively and naturally built into their day, often from doing like functional activities like gardening or dancing in the evenings, or just like walking up and down steep streets from the markets. Now, I'm lucky to live in a somewhat walkable city, so I do try to walk whenever possible. And I do know that safe spaces for exercise are a privilege. So obviously, please just do your best with where you live. Poppy's my guard dog here. She's not very good at it. Probably if we were to get into trouble, I would be the one rescuing her. But the girl needs to walk. So let's move our bodies. Come on, Pops. Okay, let's get started on dinner here, inspired by Okinawa, Japan. So in the show, they reveal that purple sweet potatoes make up about 67% of the Okinawa diet. Talk about not keto. Now, purple sweet potatoes apparently have about twice the antioxidants as, regular sweet potatoes, thanks to the bright, colorful anthocyanin compounds. So I looked far and wide for a purple sweet potato. I literally called 20 different grocery stores. Apparently, they're not easy to find here in Canada. So I did have to just settle for the regular old yam. Actually, this is a sweet potato, just a regular one. But anyway, that's gonna be my base. And then on top, I'm gonna do some kind of like stir fry situation with tofu and some veg in there, plus some miso soup on the side. Minimally processed plant-based proteins like tofu are really popular in the Blue Zones, where generally meat consumption is quite low. And again, this totally makes sense. Soy products are rich in antioxidants called isoflavones, which help to reduce the risk of heart disease and even some cancers like breast, endometrial, colon, stomach, and prostate cancer. And fermented soy, which is something that you'd find in something like miso, is associated with greater lifespan. This looks and smells amazing and really could not be simpler to pull off. Super inexpensive, super great for just using up whatever little leftovers and goodies you've got. That is good. Another concept that is central to the Okinawans' food philosophy is something called Harachi Boom, which not only sounds super adorable, but essentially it means to eat until about 80% full. In Dan's words, it allows us to feel satiated without stuffed. Now, when we think about our hunger and satiety cues, I do think that for a lot of people, it can be helpful to use the hunger fullness scale. And Harachi Boom is probably not gonna feel the same to everyone. And I also don't think that we need to make a hard and fast rule of like 80%. But the idea here is to listen to your body and eat until content, rather than letting yourself get to the point of feeling stuffed and uncomfortable. Oh, how have I not made miso soup from a packet before? This is so good. All right, lovelies. Last but not least, my favorite course, dessert. And we are living our best lives here because that is what we do in the blue zones. So that means a little vino, and I picked myself up these little Greek honey donuts called loukoumades. Please don't kill me, guys. I'm not Greek, and that is hard to say. Lumoukads. Google. Embarrassing. Let's listen. Lumoucad pronunciation. Loukoumades. How do you say it? Loukoumades. Okay, loukoumades. I got that. And they look delicious. They're basically like little honey soaked donuts. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? And I got me some red wine. What am I doing? Oh, Abby, this is so embarrassing. I didn't even take the amateur move. I didn't even take the wrapper off. I wasn't paying attention. I'm just talking. Yeah, we will fix this, guys. We will fix this problem. And I haven't even had anything to drink yet. This is a problem. All right, let's screw her in again. That's what she said. Anyways, back to honey. So honey is actually huge in the blue zones because it's rich in antioxidants and it's been associated with lower blood pressure and heart health. Ditto with the wine. Moderate wine consumption is also a very common fixture in a lot of blue zones. Again, likely because of its antioxidants levels, which basically lend itself to this J-shaped curve we see with alcohol consumption, benefits, and risk. So there's like a sweet spot of about 100 grams of alcohol per week, or about 6 glasses of wine per week, where we see the lowest risk of heart disease or death. Folks who completely abstain have slightly higher risk, and those who drink a lot more have significantly higher risk. I personally don't advocate trying to get your antioxidants from wine, but what I do think may be really important and maybe playing into this longevity enhancing role here is that with that glass of wine often comes human connection and socializing. So one teaching that I find is quite consistent across blue zones is a recognition that social connection is really important for our health. In the Okinawa, they call moe having a group of 5 friends. In Loma Linda, they've got a very strong faith-based community, and they've got like shared choir practice. And in Sardinia, they live with multiple generations under one roof. Now, research consistently shows that social relationships and community actually extend our life. So I say, eat your dessert, laugh with your friends and family, and enjoy life. And on that note, Brody, I know it's a Tuesday night, but I feel like we deserve this. Little donut action. Look how cute these little things are. That is good. Oh, this is a good pairing, and I didn't even know it. Honey and red wine. They best friends. And that, my friends, takes us to the end of the day. And I don't know if the wine is talking, but honestly, I feel great. Obviously, longevity is a very complicated topic, and I had a lot of fun testing out some staple meals and habits from the blue zones. We have covered a lot of points throughout the day, but I want to quickly recap on the 9 pillars of the blue zone lifestyle that likely contribute to their long, vibrant lives. Joyful movement, living with purpose, stress reduction, mindful eating, focusing on plants, moderate wine consumption, belonging to a community, putting family first, and investing in social networks. All I know is that Toronto is in no way conducive to most of these pillars, so I might need to start learning like Italian or Greek. But on that note, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you are from a blue zone or who have visited one, I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!